All right, so on the right, we have the Mazzer i200D burrs that come with the Mazzer Philos grinder. They're sort of their Mazzer's answer to the SSP multi-purpose burrs. They kind of look similar, but if you look at the angle, it kind of has more of a curve to it. And the cutting teeth are kind of more angular, so potentially different. It has a longer cutting path, which might kind of equate to having like a bigger burr diameter. I'm not sure. Not sure how I don't think anyone's really sure of how the science of burr making works and what little changes will actually affect things. But yeah, slightly different, so it's cool they didn't just copy the design like I've seen other people knock off. Even the SSP multi-purpose, even those burrs were a knockoff of the Guatemala burrs from Melkenig grinder, which I had briefly, but yeah, it was kind of, the burrs were worn, and yeah, I resold that. So yeah, on the left, we have the old Lagome P64 stock burrs. This is before they were doing their own Mazzer. And I really like these burrs. Like, they look very similar to other burrs that you've probably seen. I believe they're made by a company in China. Not anyone well known. I think I know who they are, but I forget their name. But I have them on Instagram. Yeah. I suspect, well, they claim they're I kind of tracked them down. I was going to buy a bunch of burrs to resell because I really like them, but yeah, they didn't really give me a good bulk discount price, but they are cheap, like compared to like SSP or even these Mazzer burrs. They're kind of almost priced as high as SSP. They're not, they're cheaper, but not as cheap as the old Mazzer burrs used to be. Like, I remember seeing, yeah, you could probably get the lower clarity Mazzer burrs for like, I don't know, I think I remember them being like $80 or $100. So I think these sell for like 200, where SSP 64mm burrs are like 250. I'm talking Canadian dollars. And these, I don't know, I think they're cheaper than these ones. But yeah, so also, yeah, I was going to buy a bunch and consider reselling them, but there's so many 64mm burr options and everyone wants SSPs, so yeah, I figured it's not worth it. And then also the DF64 Turin people or whoever, those guys came out with their DLC burrs as well, which are supposed to be pretty good, and they're more affordable, so lots of 64mm options, but I like these even though they look like the same kind of burrs that you'll see in like a Eureka. Just very common. Kind of reminds me of the SSP high uniformity espresso burrs in 64. But these are actually better. Maybe not better for espresso, I'm not sure, but they're supposed to be similar from what I've heard. I don't remember if I've compared directly. But yeah, for pour over, these do better than the SSP high uniformity espresso burrs. And yeah, these are a really nice all-purpose burr. It has good clarity, just good balance. So I like these, and I even put them in my Ode. And yeah, they sounded a little weird. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I suspect I found there's like little pieces of coffee stuck along the ledge. So I suspect that is what was making it sound so like rattly in my grinder. Just like little, yeah. And then it was harder to, like, whenever I try and go finer on the grind size with these burrs, it seems like it was kind of like getting resistance. It was getting stuck. So I suspect it's because it's not clearing the very edge for some reason. I don't remember that happening in the P64 or other grinders that I've had these in. I forget if I even put this in a 64, but I've definitely had them in my P64 for a while, and I like them. So I did something a little weird. So the thing, like I mentioned, I have right now, the only 264mm grinders I have that I was hoping these would fit in, are the P64, Lagome P64, and the fellow Ode. So I have the Ode Gen 2. So I tried in both of them, and unfortunately I thought it was working, but the external burr carrier on the Ode, the outer burr, it doesn't quite fit in there, and I suspect I think this is just a little too fat. And they look similar, but very slight differences will affect how it fits. So it didn't fit into the groove, and it was kind of like there's a gap. I could probably screw them in, but it would be way too high, and it looked like it was sitting on an angle. I'll try and maybe I'll include footage. I think I got a picture, or I forgot if I did a video of that, but it definitely wasn't sitting right. So it fit inside the grinder just fine. So then I was hoping it would fit in the P64, and I tried that, and same deal. I actually have an extra top burr carrier for the P64, and it fit in the older one, but it didn't sit right in the inside the grind chamber. So yeah, in both cases it was like one would fit, the other burr would not fit, or it would not sit normally. They are about the same height as like most burrs. I think SSP is a little thicker, but yeah, so I mean, I was hoping it would fit. So unfortunately, if you're thinking of getting these burrs as a good alternative to the SSP multi-purpose, it probably won't fit in your Ode, and won't fit in your P64. I'm curious to try in a DF64 to see if it will fit. If there's looser tolerances, it might, but I wouldn't think the Ode has that tight tolerances, but yep, it doesn't fit. So yeah, maybe I'll try it in someone's DF64 if I could track one down. I don't think I want to buy another one just to see if these will fit. So what I did something a little crazy, and I noticed the two burr sets, they do seem to match pretty well. They don't rub, they don't they can do burr touch without causing getting stuck on each other. So I decided to try it. So since one burr would fit in the Ode and the other burr wouldn't, what I did is I put the inner burr that doesn't rotate. I put this one for the inner burr and this one for the outer burr that sits on the burr carrier. And surprisingly, it works. So yeah, surprisingly, it does actually work. They said it couldn't be done, but I did it. So I was grinding for espresso. I found, I'm gonna keep it around, let's try 6. So last time I did a couple pour overs at around 5, and it turned out pretty good. Kind of stalled towards the end, but I did things differently. I kind of did agitation. I thought there was actually low fines. I just got this proof sifter, and yeah, it seemed like there wasn't that many fines, so I was surprised it stalled. Unless I'm just not sifting it right, because maybe the smaller 300 micron sifter at the bottom, oops, see, I don't even know how to use this thing yet. So yeah, it was kind of clogged up, so it might have been that it just wasn't separating the fines out as well as it was, so as well as it should be. So I cleaned it now, and yeah, I'll try it again next time I do. Actually, maybe no, I don't want to try it now, because It probably has some fines in there. I was grinding for espresso. So anyway, I tried it for pour over and it did well. It seemed like it had a good balance of like clarity, a little bit of good aftertaste, acidity. It was just balanced and yeah, it seemed to work. Even though it's slightly stalled, it was good. And then I tried more for espresso, and like the shots were running a little fast, but they were actually good. Similar, I think it does taste similar to like how the regular burrs, the stock P64 burrs were. So I'm not sure how much of a difference it really is. How much of yeah. So I don't know, like, am I just tasting the moving burr, the one the one that I'm used to, and not the new burr that's just acting as like the one that it crushes against? It's possible. So yeah, and there's no way of reversing them because it only fits in one position. Unless I tried in the P64, but then I think it's the same idea where like the one that fits is going to be the one that's not moving. The stationary burr. So yeah, it was working nicely for espresso. I'm gonna show you how it sounds, and it actually sounds pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna throw some seasoning coffee through because I want to flush out if there's any fines in there. I could sift it for fun, but like there's probably some espresso grind size in there from grinding at that grind size. Yeah, there's probably some retention, not too much, but. Oh, and even grinding for espresso with the other burrs, it works well. It doesn't seem to struggle. Ode not recommended for espresso, and the steps might be a little big. Yeah, you can tell there's like a little bit of coffee stuck. Yeah, it makes weird noises when you're going finer. And I think if I go all the way to 1, it's gonna have burr tick. Oh, slightly. And that's the way I calibrated it. So anyway, I'll try pour over at 6 now that I cleared the retention. And yeah, it's probably can't see, but let's go to the light. Yeah, maybe it's a little fine. Yeah, so maybe I just ground too fine, and that's why it kind of stalled a little last time. Because I ground at 5, and this was at 6, I believe. But yeah, it seems like it's pretty consistent grind quality. I'll do another sift test later. And yeah, but taste seems good. Yeah, I'll do a comparison with the with some other burrs and see once I get some more good coffee, because right now I ran out of all my coffee that I like to use for pour over. So yeah, we'll try it again more extensively. But yeah, seems to work. I just don't know if it's any better than the combination of the stock P64 burrs. These ones. Because these were good and they did espresso, and yeah, just adjusting finer was causing, like, yeah, just sounded bad, and sounded like the grinder was not happy. But yeah, even for grinding light roast for espresso, it didn't struggle. The motor seems to be like it's powerful enough. Whether it kills the grinder earlier, I don't know, but I've heard people have used the Ode for espresso without too many problems, or without any problems. But yeah, use at your own risk. So yeah, main point is yeah, I guess don't be afraid to experiment, although you could potentially risk ruining your burrs or your grinder, but luckily that didn't happen. I guess I'm gonna experiment with it for a while, and what I'll do is I'll just go back to this eventually and I'll see if I notice any difference. Yeah, I think that's probably the best comparison. But for now, I'm gonna get some good coffee, and then I'm gonna compare with like maybe the P64 or the ZP6, which I like for pour overs. Right now I have the SSB multi-purpose burrs in the P64, and we'll compare it with this combo in the Ode and see how it compares. I'm guessing there's probably less clarity, but still, like, clarity isn't all that matters. I discovered when I had the EK43, I really liked the burrs, and it was just like a good balance of like clarity and body and acidity, and just like, and the thing I liked about it was the sweetness. So it made coffee enjoyable no matter what you threw at it, and it's just very versatile. And I find like burrs like this, they're kind of along the same lines, like it's just balanced and enjoyable. Not quite as sweet, unfortunately. I'm still looking for something that's sweet, and I don't like the SSP Sweet Labs or the cast burrs. I tried them; they're not great. If anything, the Option O Meissen Omni burrs, which look like the SSB cast, like Sweet Lab style burrs, those I liked better. But at the time I was comparing with the SSP multi-purpose, and I thought I liked the clarity better on those, but like really it wasn't lacking clarity. Same with these. Like, they're not lacking clarity as long as you can tell what the coffee tastes like, and it's not just making everything taste chocolatey, like what some people say niche zero seems like, which I don't know if it's always the case, but yeah, I think some niche zeros or some lower end conical grinders as well will make everything taste just similar, chocolatey, and just taste like coffee, which is good if you're making milk drinks and you're buying cheap coffee. But if you're buying fancy coffee, you want to be able to taste the nuances, and I think most flat burrs will do that. SSP cast burrs, I thought they were lacking clarity though, so I did not like them. Other people have different opinions. I don't know how or why, but yeah, it's kind of mixed opinions on those. I had the version 2, and I had 2 sets of them that I used in 2 different grinders. I used the P64 and the DF64. So yeah, I don't know if any of them were like seasoned with like 20 pounds of coffee or anything, but I used them for maybe 6 months. But it wasn't my only grinder, it wasn't my only burr set, so yeah, I don't know how much coffee I actually threw through them. I'm pretty sure I did try seasoning them, like I probably threw 5 pounds of coffee through or something like that. But yeah, but my theory is if you have to throw 20 pounds of coffee through your burrs before they're good, then you are selling a defective product, and you probably should have made it so that it works for the customer before selling it to them, because first impression is huge, right? Do you buy a new burr, you want it to be better than your old burr. You buy anything new, you want it to be an improvement, not a downgrade. So yeah, it makes no sense that they're selling a product that you need to finish or waste 15-20 pounds of coffee. So yeah, I hate that. I think I read that these are actually pre-seasoned, so yeah, props to Mazzer if that is the case, where these don't need seasoning. More burr companies, more people making burrs should be doing this if there is actually a difference in the burr performance. I mean, if there's slight differences, then like who cares, but like if your burrs are bad, if they're making like excessive amounts of fines, or they change the profile like so dramatically as SSB cast seems to do, then yeah, you should probably pre-season them. I believe Cafetech does that with their burrs. They just throw it in like a tumbler with like some kind of abrasive, I forget what it was, but like walnut shells or something, and that kind of does the job of pre-seasoning. I guess the key is not to do it too much that you dull the burrs, but yeah, I'm sure they know what they're doing. Yeah, these feel sharp. So do these. and I've had these for a while. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed these don't fit and I can't try them the way they're supposed to be. But yeah, maybe in a DF64. I don't know if I'd recommend taking the risk and trying it, because you might be like me and then you get stuck with burrs that won't fit. Hopefully they didn't design these burrs so they just fit the Mazzer Philos. I don't know if they did it on purpose. Probably not, but yeah. If they did, then that's not cool, but yeah, hopefully they fit in something. All right, so I just threw 10 grams of coffee at setting number 5, oh no, 6. Setting number 6, burr touch is just about there. These are with my FrankenBurrs, which are a mixture of 2 different types of burrs, or FrankBenBurrs. So I put in 10 grams, and hey, we got out 10.1. So that's good. No retention, or not much. I'm gonna sift it. The top sifter is 1200 microns, so any particles larger than that shouldn't go through. And on the bottom there's 300 microns, so the fines that are like more espresso sized should fall through. So let's give it a shake for, I don't know, 20-30 seconds, see what happens. Wow, so good news. Not much coarse boulders, and most of it seems to have settled in the middle. We have hardly any fines, so that's probably like, I'd say 0.2, 0.3 of a gram. We could weigh it. The same with this, probably like barely nothing. Barely nothing. So yep, the boulders are 0.3 of a gram. I'm gonna shake it a little more, see if I can get some more fines to separate. But I already shook it for like a minute. So just about 9 grams is between 1,000 or 1,200 and between 300 and 1,200 microns. So there's probably some retention that gets stuck along the rubber gasket and also on the backside of the fine mesh. And there's probably just like 0.3 in there. But let's find out. Okay, so yeah. Looks like it's actually 0.4. So yeah, we lost just a tiny bit of coffee. Let's add up those numbers. I forget what they are now. But yeah, the numbers I think pretty much add up. Not too many fines. So what is that, like 4% fines? And not much boulders. Last time I did, what did I do? I did 1,000 micron for the top one, and I found it filtered out a lot of boulders. So that's why I went a little coarser with the 1,200 micron filter. Yeah, I don't have lots of filter options available, but I don't have an 1,100. So it goes 9. What is that? 8, 9, 10, 12, and then 14, 16. And the finest one I have is the 300, which I think is probably perfect for filtering out the very fine particles that you don't want. Actually, I don't know if you don't want them, because I think they do contribute to the complexity and possibly the body. I don't think fines are always detrimental, but I will probably filter this out. I mean, yeah, I could do an experiment actually where, yeah, I'll definitely try that. So it looks like it's teetering between 0.3 and 0.4, so it's probably in between. It's probably like 0.35. So yeah, pretty good estimate when I said it's 0.3 grams of fines. Yeah, so my combo of burrs is working. Yeah, pretty well.